Welcome to this presentation presented by Free Range Productions and Global Voice Network. This is a roundtable discussion featuring Gail of Gaia from Free Range with Gail of Gaia, Paul Beener from Global Voice Network, and Dean Chambers. Three good friends with a combined total of almost a century of experience researching and uncovering truth. We just get together and chit-chat, chew the fat. And now you're invited. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the think tank. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the think tank. Hey, do we have everybody here?
Hi, Paul. Hi, Gail.
Gail, are you there?
Oh, excuse me. I was muted. I'm here.
No problem. Okay. So we've got a lot of fun stuff that we're going to be doing today. And we're going to keep this light. Okay? We've had the unfortunate necessity of sharing a lot of dark information before. Well, we're probably going to be broaching a couple of dark subjects, but we're going to try and keep it as light and enjoyable and entertaining as possible. So, who wants to say hello first?
Hello first.
Oh, well,
You beat me to it, Dean.
Oh, I'd like to withdraw that statement. Go for it, Gail.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
It's
Happy to have you here.
Oh, wow. Yes, we absolutely are. And oh boy, what those truckers are doing up north of the border and all the rest of them, like in every country seeming around the world.
Oh my gosh, it just gives me goosebumps. It really does. And I was watching a video, I think it was yesterday, about a group of Canadians. I mean, talk about showing the way. How they arm banded together and surrounded the police, and the police couldn't do anything. They just left.
And what else did they do, Gail?
I don't know. What are you referring to?
Oh, the same video you're talking about. They all said the Our Father together.
Oh, then they said the prayer.
And the cops just were freaked out.
Yeah,
they were just freaked out.
I guess that was the tipping point right there when they started saying
it's way too much.
Yeah.
Well, does that kind of give you the idea that a lot of those cops that would actually follow instructions that violate like a person's basic human rights, they're pretty much evil to begin with? So when you start reciting the Our Father, it's kind of like throwing salt in their eyes and sticking a cross on their forehead. They couldn't stay there. They had to leave.
I was going to say holy water, but not salt, but you had the cross part right.
Yeah, I had the cross part right. But you know, they say that dark spirits can't cross a line of salt.
That's very true. I think we even discussed that one time, that you go out and take some salt and make a circle around your house to keep negativity out. Yeah. That's old Druid.
Yeah, but it's got to be real salt. It can't be any of that table salt crap. It's got to be real salt.
They have salt rooms here in Sedona.
Yeah.
That people can visit.
Yeah, they go in and they kind of lounge and rest and relax and rejuvenate, and
and salt mist is, in the air.
Yeah, it's very humid in those rooms.
Anyway, I haven't been in it, but I was surprised when I first saw it. I didn't know they had those types of places, to tell you the truth.
I saw a video on it a few years back. That's how I know. I've never been in one either.
Well, if any place would have something such as that, I would guess it would be Sedona. you
This is
know.
true.
Well, okay, I do have something.
I'll just say that.
I do have something that's kind of negative, and but it's got to
Paul
be.
starts off the show censoring everybody, saying,
There,
and we're
yeah.
going to keep it light. And here's what we're going to do. And then the first words out of Paul's mouth is, well, here's something negative. Go for it, Paul.
There you go. We see how
All right. Well, I thought before we started rolling the ticker with all of our PayPal addresses and stuff like that on it, that I would share that I got a phone call this morning that was very disconcerting, and it would appear that while Patty was out of her rehab facility room, that somebody lifted the notepad tablet that we had gotten for her. And now she's kind of back to an old laptop with a crappy camera and a phone. So I already have located another eBay auction for an identical piece of equipment, and I'm going to be watching that auction, and if we can afford it, I'm going to try and move forward with that. But I would appreciate any help in that endeavor.
Well, they do have cameras in the place, and she may well get it back.
Yeah. Well, just in case, well, she's had numerous things stolen from her. She's up to like $1,200 worth of stuff that has been liberated from her, and she hasn't gotten anything else back thus far. So,
We had talked about that she should acquire a suitcase with locks on it, since she doesn't have anything else, and she could put some of her belongings in that. And even though it's a minimal, a lock on the suitcase with our numbers, so it isn't where, those standard keys, because anybody can get those keys and open a suitcase. But even an attaché case, an inexpensive one with numbers on it, so that you have to dial in. But where she's at, this is going to continue to happen.
A carry-on bag, airline carry-on bag might even work. They have little.
Well, something that has the numbers on it, right? That you can't get into it unless you know the combination. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I haven't talked to her in a day or two.
That's big enough so nobody will be able to stick it under their arm or stuff it under their shirt and walk out with it. And I'm sure that's what happened with the tablet, because they didn't take anything else. They didn't take the.
She's got to quit leaving shit out.
They didn't take the charger for it or any of that. They just took the tablet. And
but after $1,200 of missing stuff, when are you going to learn that they're going to take your stuff, and then you walk out of the room and leave your laptop there? I mean, stop it. When are you going to learn? $1,200 worth of stuff's been missing from your room. Stop it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can't help her out and get another one. I was the one that found the one that we sent her before, and I did not get it from Amazon. I didn't feed the beast with that purchase. So anyway,
moving on.
Yeah, moving on, moving right along with lots of good fun and good talk.
So it's been my observation that both the pharmaceutical companies and those associated with pharmaceutical companies have done a reversal. They have realized that as a result of the truckers going up face to face against them in the media, and it turned into a global effort of people going against this mandates for vaccination and mandates for this, and you've got to, and mask, and countries are turning around left and right saying no more mandates. We're not going to mandate this. We still have a few stragglers in the school unions. In my opinion, they're socialistic, they're Marxist. They go against even the governors of their state, just to show how they have their own agenda.
Well,
They're
lots of them.
making
I'm sorry, let me interject really quickly. Lots of them have gotten millions of dollars to hold the line, and they don't
yeah.
want to give any of that money back.
Well, but my response to that is they need to be arrested. They
Hmm.
need all their assets seized, everything, their house, their car, possessions, bank accounts, everything.
Even their
There should
dog.
be everything. They should have nothing for what they have done. But that wasn't my point. My point is that now the emphasis is placed on war in
Syria.
well, war in Syria. You know, Russia's supposed to be at the border of you know, gonna ready to go in, and you've got all these other players. They're ready to go in and just raise hell and havoc. And because the Moderna, um, the whole thing just kind of fell apart. Basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
And
so they're
they're
using
not
the
buying it. The war is their next thing for
distraction.
distraction. That's right.
Yep. If they can't use the Super Bowl, and that's going to be a huge eye opener if the professional drivers, screw up the Super Bowl, because that'll hit mainstream like no tomorrow. It'll demonize the shit out of them because that mainstream news is gonna spin it. But if they can't use that, they will use a war somewhere or a fake alien invasion or whatever.
Well, they
Well, I
have
did.
that's their way of blocking Gazara Nasara as well, by making sure that they get a war going someplace, or get troops from another country in another country, which is a violation, which means that it can't be implemented. So
Yeah,
once again, it's just like when Clinton was forced to sign Nasara umpteen years ago. What they do is they're going to try to do the same damn thing they did before: start a war, or do some kind of major false flag, like the 9/11 thing, or anything. Who knows what they got up there? Well, the alien invasion, we haven't had that yet. So anyway, it's just par for the course.
yeah, no, you're really right, because part of Gasara Nasara is that you don't have, your country's troops on foreign soil. But here's the answer that came out. I think it was yesterday. We now have a global military that have been put together, and I don't mean UN, NATO, the 30 NATO countries.
Good.
That Yeah, so they have the latitude to go in and stop problems. Now, for those that don't understand it, the UN is probably the single largest human trafficking, sex predator organization in the world, with the 30 countries under NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, that represent pretty much all of the European Union, the EU as it's known. These are all human traffickers, crimes against humanity, um, the sex trade. It's horrific what they're doing. So when you see those names, you also got to attach some of the qualities of who they are and what they are and what they're doing. And this is not conjecture. It's well known. UN, NATO, UNICEF. They call themselves that they're the United Nations for Children and things like that. They do just the opposite.
Yep.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
that's how they get in and do stuff. So all this Ukraine stuff, Ukraine is a cesspool of human traffickers.
yes,
And
while we're
the
talking about human trafficking, I think we should mention the reputation of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Gail.
yeah, we can talk about that, but I do want to touch on one thing really quickly first. Is the Red Cross is nothing more than a blood bank for the elites, and also we have been under a state of perpetual declared war and under martial law, a soft martial law, since Lincoln or before. And There's always a war on everything. You know, a new president, it's a new war. Reagan, it was the war on drugs, and then Bush, it was the war on terror. And
On
pers-
poverty.
personally, I want to declare war on fake food. That's a war I could get on board with. But we have been under a state of declared war since Lincoln, and oh God, there was another thing I was going to say. It was really good. It was golden. Oh shit. Why did it just fly out of my brain so fast? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't.
While you're thinking about it, I want to go back to what you opened your statement with, is the Red Cross is not the organization you think it is. They are, like Paul said, they're engaged in gathering blood. So you know they're doing the adrenochrome program, and they're like one of the tops in the world. And they get away with it because they have this Red Cross reputation that they're the cool guys. I mean, when I was in high school, you got your Red Cross Junior Life Saving, and then you went on to get your Red Cross Senior Life Saving, where you could actually be a lifeguard at a pool or something like that. I mean, that was the place to go, Red Cross.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these children, and you have all these other avenues that they can just cherry pick, and they got found out.
Okay,
inside and outside.
I remembered.
Whistleblowers came. Let me finish. They had whistleblowers from inside the Red Cross that came out. Yeah, and then make your statement. That's all I was going to say.
Okay.
Go ahead, Paul.
Now, under a state of declared war or a state of national emergency, the Constitution is suspended. But what that doesn't mean is that your rights are suspended. The Constitution only stops the government from infringing on your rights. It doesn't guarantee or provide your rights. Your rights come from the Creator. And you have them no matter what they do with wars, constitutions, sour milk, whatever the hell. You know, you have rights and they cannot be infringed upon. They're given by God, not the Constitution. So people get all upset and irate about, oh, well, 100 miles from any border is a Constitution-free zone, or we're under a state of declared emergency. It's a Constitution-free country. And bullshit. Forget about it. Forget about it. Okay, that was what I wanted to say. Thank you. Go ahead,
Are you okay, Paul?
Are you okay, Paul?
I think so.
I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And you got to admit it was good stuff.
A little too much anger. Pull back on the anger, though.
I mean, really.
Yeah, he just can't help himself.
I cannot know. When people start talking about the denial of rights and stuff like that, I get pissed. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And I dropped something on the floor and I cannot find it. Oh, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to climb under my chair.
It's your brain. See it kind of like crawling over there into the corner going, get me out of here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's pretty much it.
Yikes.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So we've switched all our emphasis to the Ukraine, doing the war thing. We're taking the emphasis off the everything that's going mandates, because countries and too many people have stood up to them, with the Canadian truckers, the global patriots of the world that stepped up, and all the other countries said we can do it as well, and they did.
And guess what? The one of the things, and that is from the blue collar workers. Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're not going to be successful with pushing this war, because I did a post also right from the Ukraine, showing a long line of people waiting to get in to go see the opera Romeo and Juliet. So they're not like afraid of this big war that's not going to happen. That's all propaganda. And you got to keep telling yourself, it's the media that keeps twisting everything. They keep twisting it. They're never going to stop. until we remove and replace all their talking heads. And we have the people to remove and replace them with. I think the 21st is the date of this month that we're getting, President's Day, that when Pluto is in the exact degree that it was July 4th, 1776, when we signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yep. Well, they're working on replacing the talking heads. Cuomo's already gone from CNN. And
A
yes,
lot of them are already gone, yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Cuomo is leaving. CNN is code for Cuomo is in shackles right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say Como has left the planet.
Yeah. Cuomo has left the building, the biosphere, whatever.
In this case, hopefully, the planet.
So there is talk, and I've talked with a few of my astrologer friends, Ashton being one of them. She's really good at astrology. The possibility or probability of Pluto being to the exact degree that it was July 4th, 1776 it's beyond comprehension. So how can Pluto do that? Well, talking with Patty spits out, well, Pluto is a satellite. And being a satellite, you certainly could move it with a computer-like accuracy to exactly where you want it to be. Now, I'll give you an example. The moon is a satellite. We have no other moons in our whole solar system that function like ours does, where it only shows you one side of itself, that it's 28 days here, 14 days up, 14 days down, between the new moon and the full moon. For thousands of years or whatever, from the last time they pulled it in here, with computer-like accuracy. No other moon does that. They're closer, they're further, they do this, they wobble. There's irregularity in the time it takes to go around. Ours stays right there and shows one face, like a computer object, like a satellite. And that's exactly what it is. So when I discovered that Pluto fell into the same category, being so far away, and we have these, we have it lined up exactly, something major is going to happen. And it has been put out there that we will sign the Republic Declaration Constitution. We will sign it again on the 21st. That whole period of time this month, the 20th, the 21st through the 24th, we've got some real high value numerology numbers. You've got that 20, 20, 22. So I would look for some really good and positive things to take place that aren't going to be able to be rolled back again. I think we're done seeing a lot of the overt corruption globally, nationally, even locally. I post every day. This person came down with tested positive. This guy tested positive. This lady tested positive.
Yeah, it seems like it's one after the other, huh?
Because they have been arrested. They're in custody. They cut a deal, and more than likely, they're going to be executed. Either they're going to commit suicide, their death's going to come. I think, who was it? Saget, Bob Saget?
Yeah.
They listed his death as, he had a bump on the head. No, he was pummeled to death because he was a bad guy.
Yeah, and then
It said Gitmo was full, too. I've read that, too.
Yes, they took him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always enjoyed watching him. So,
yeah, there's a lot of guys that we really enjoyed watching that. It's
finding
kind of
out.
strange how it's kind of strange how things are evolving. Here, I'll give you a good one. What was the one? Neil Young.
Yeah, yeah.
and Joe Rogan. Neil Young's back on Spotify. What the hell? What was that all about?
Because it was a power play, and the record company that bought Neil Young's entire catalog realized that money was worth more than silencing Rogan as soon as they found out that Spotify wasn't going to pull Rogan.
And Neil Young's back with Spotify.
Yeah, because Neil Young
by the
doesn't
way,
have control over his library or his catalog anymore. He sold it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. That. Now, isn't it interesting that the CEO of Spotify is the major stockholder in Moderna?
Yeah.
Yeah, put those two together and swallow that and let it roll around your mouth and whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just doesn't quit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, geez, what are you guys doing?
Oh, the tangled web they weave when they practice to deceive.
Yeah, that's right, Gail. You nailed it. That is right. What do you want, guys? I know what you want. Here, I didn't give you anything. We went for a walk.
Do you know what we forgot to do?
Go from the uncensored platform.
Yeah.
No, we didn't forget anything. That's your job, Paul. Your job.
Oh my gosh! Did we say?
No, I don't think we
anything immoral,
illegal, immoral, or fattening. I don't think we did.
I was trying to say I don't think we did either. But holy smokes, yeah! I wasn't even thinking that. Oh, isn't that terrible to have to stop and censor yourself? It's just really I hate it.
I've talked to 20 different shows of people that do shows, and not one person, not even Drake, do you do a censored and then we're going to switch over. You don't do that with Drake, right?
Okay, well then.
But I tell him that he has to watch his mouth.
That's all those shows that don't do that speak in code and they censor themselves, and that is almost more stressful than just speaking freely.
Well, I like the code. I mean, our president talks in code, right?
Some of them can't they put the shows that they do on their own page, Paul, and they don't even have to worry about
yeah,
it won't get censored that way. I mean, because it's on their own server or their own whatever. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't know.
What
other people have to be able to do the kind of stuff that a lot of people do, which significantly affects their growth and numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking into setting up a Roku TV streaming app to be able to put shows like right on TV. But I got to figure out how to pay for the platform I just added before I start adding any more. So anyway.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I don't know. Maybe I can monetize the new platform to the point that it actually pays for itself, and then I can fund the Roku app. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a jumping from one walk to the next, getting the different platforms paid for through the map.
It's like jumping out of the frying pan and right into the damn fire most of the time. But anyways, Dwayne Aklarv, welcome to the program. We got a comment on YouTube. So yeah.
Oh, do we need to shut off? Are we going to shut off, or are we going to stay on?
It just depends on what we're going to talk about. We already talked about yeah, I think we probably better, because I think the really good stuff is coming up.
God, if none of that stuff we talked about wasn't the good stuff about how, the pharmaceutical companies are taken back, that's a major story globally. Because everywhere you look, all you see is people are protesting.
Yeah.
Every country in Europe seems like they have huge responses, and they're only growing stronger. And unfortunately, in some places like Paris, you have those Gestapo cops out there. They're beating the crap out of the people in the streets there, and they're getting it all on videotape, and it's going global. At some point in time, those cops are going to they're going to meet a very dark fate. People aren't are not going to be they're not going to be get beat up like that anymore, and you're going to start hearing the guillotine, the guillotine. You know, like Marie Antoinette, and heads are going to start rolling.
Yeah.
But these cops are brain dead zombies, just order followers. It's the people that are paying everybody's salary. They seem to forget that.
Yeah.
It's the will of the people.
And you know what's funny too? I mean, it's not funny, but the fact is, they don't know the Constitution.
No.
They wouldn't even know how to follow it if you told them to. They really would seriously have to have training, because they walk all over people's rights all the time and operate in color of law all the time.
Oh, I had one of the top attorneys, and he'll remain nameless. You know who I'm talking about. That I traveled with. I met one of the top Eastern attorneys, and he started talking about color of the law, which I retorted right to him. I said, well, color of the law is not the law. It shut him up so quick. He didn't even know how to respond to that. He's not used to anybody ever challenging him. But color of the law is not the law.
Yeah, it's the color.
It's like the law.
Yeah.
It's in these 20 cases, we found a similarity in how they rule. So we'll use that as an example to further this case, and that's called color of the law.
It's called
the law is cut.
Precedent.
Clear cut. Yeah, precedent. And well, yes, I guess that's correct. And then the third level is the credibility of witnesses. I mean, if you got two crackheads, meth smokers, and then you have a religious figure, and then you have God comes down, you go, well, I think God probably is going to prevail over the religious figure who's working for Lucifer, and these other people that are poorly misguided. You're going to, the three things in a court of law. You have the law, color of the law, credibility of your witnesses.
The abuse of power, color of law, or color of office, Section 1983, provides redress for constitutional violations committed under color of state law. In Monroe v. Pape, the court interpreted this phrase to include deprivations of constitutional rights caused by state officers acting either without authority or what is much the same in violation of state law.
And they do it all the time.
That
they do it all
from
the time.
bondsforthewin.com. Go to bondsforthewin.com and look up violations, and then go to federal violations. And there's everything there. There's abuse of power, harmful to minors laws, equal opportunity, equal employment opportunity commission, Section 802 of the Patriot Act. Hello. Expanded the definition of terrorism to cover domestic as opposed to international terrorism. A person engages in domestic terrorism if they do an act dangerous to human life that is a violation of the criminal laws of a state or the United States. If the act appears to be intended to, number one, intimidate or coerce a civilian population, or number two, influence the policy of a government by intimidation or coercion. What are they doing? They're intimidating and they're coercing. I don't even know if that's a word.
Violations, it's not even funny.
The biochemical warfare, Geneva Protocol. How many of these things going on have been labeled bioweapons? Come on. And we're not talking in specifics. We're still on censored platforms. So that's close enough.
Okay, so we're getting off the censored platforms right now, right?
Okay, I suppose we can. Please go to gailofgaia.com and you'll find a list of uncensored platforms on Gail's channels. Go to globalvoiceradio.net and you will find a list of mine. And we will pick you up on the other side. So,
yes, those platforms are either Rumble or Odyssey, in case you don't know.
yes, Rumble or Odyssey. And well, we're also on DLive, Twitter, Twitch, and all those, but we're dropping Twitter as well. So now remove that one.
Yes.
And